Oh man, the internet and pretty much everyone who is a comic geek has been going crazy because we finally got the premiere of WandaVision on Disney Plus. And Disney Plus didn't hold back. They threw 2 episodes at us the first day. Um,
Yep.
what do you think? You go, start to finish,
Okay.
and then I'll give you my words. Let's go the first episode. Let's start the first episode. First episode first.
Okay, first
episode number 1.
Very I Love Lucy, Bewitched kind
Bewitched,
of.
more Bewitched than anything.
Yeah, more Bewitched. Feeling to it, black and white. It didn't even have the white frame. It was a regular letterbox TV. Letterbox or regular? I don't know. But they actually committed to the feel and even the jokes for this show, you know?
And I know how they
What I'm
committed
thinking-
because there was parts where I was just like,
Yeah, exactly. Me too. I was like,
but then I was like, then I would laugh when they would say a joke. Because you keep expecting comic book stuff. You want fucking heroes fighting and shit. But they really did give you they gave you a Bewitched episode. They gave us a fucking Bewitched episode. A whole little plot but there was little sprinkles of something's going on here.
Exactly. I think the first part when I was like, oh, okay, so the first part in this episode where I thought, oh, okay, there's something wrong. This is not meant to be. Or maybe she's sheltering, she's making all of this up to shelter herself because of the loss of the vision, right? So she's making all this thing up in her head, maybe, I'm not sure. But the first, hint of there's something wrong was when the vision was at work and he was like, what do we even do in this place, man? And I do computer stuff, yeah, but what are we researching? What are we doing? And everyone's very nonchalant, like, hey, don't worry about it. Just, be your best and shit like that. Very 50s, 60s TV.
Yeah.
Perfect family, perfect, friends and job and everything. But yeah, that was the first hint. The second hint was towards the end when they all sit down and have dinner with the boss and the boss's wife.
Yeah, when that little episode that happens at the end where she's dying and everyone's just like they don't know what to do and shit.
What I was thinking is that when he was very inquisitive and asking hey, so why are you guys here? What is your story? And she was basically feeling pressured by this guy. I think unconsciously she was trying to kill the guy. Shut up. She was choking him. She wasn't able to do anything. She actually asked Vision, do something. Or help him,
Her powers are weak. I feel like maybe, if this isn't in her mind, or I don't know how they're gonna explain what this is, but I feel like maybe she doesn't know what she can do yet, because there's parts she goes to the kitchen and she's gonna make them dinner and shit, and I'm like, couldn't she just go, and it'll appear right there? She doesn't have to cook it. But there she is trying to cook and using her powers to cook. And I was like, she could just go move, chicken, cooked, ready to go.
I think it's she's conflicted, obviously. She there's something in there that she's trying to figure out in her own mind.
I mean, not to give away too many spoilers, and there's going to be spoilers every
This is pretty much already
This is a fucking spoiler show. So if you're watching this, fuck you, it's spoiler show, all right? There's spoilers. Every time we're going to talk, every time you watch anything, there's going to be spoilers. We're going to spoil shit. Don't watch us if you don't want to. Don't watch us if you don't want. Anyways, the spoilers. That friend that shows up, Agnes.
Do you think that she's, what's her name? I forgot her name. She's a witch. Because, that witch, she was one of the original Salem witches, and she survived. And she wears a brochure, I think. What's it called? Not a brochure. A brooch.
No, yeah. I mean, she is. I think. Look, Agnes, that girl. I think she is behind it. But I feel like it's her character that is the one that's behind what's going on.
You think so?
I think she's not doing. I think she is doing it. Wanda's fucking doing it, in her mind, or she's creating it, but
You know what?
she's being manipulated to do this.
Uh-huh. Because
Someone's
then you
doing
have
this
that
to her
shot of someone like taking notes, watching a TV set of
at the
some
very
sort.
end.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
and
we've seen the trailers, so we know that there's an organization out there, and their name is Sword, and they're the ones that are investigating this phenomenon. The phenomenon, if you've seen the
mhm,
trailers, you kind of understand what's going on. So there's this bubble like that, right? In the real world, there's a bubble like that, and she's inside that bubble, and in that bubble, she has that reality. Everything's black and white, and Vision's there, and that's what's happening inside that bubble. And outside that bubble, that's where the sword is. It's not. It's like Shield, but they're another organization. They're called Sword, and they're there, and
yeah,
they're studying it. They're the ones that are watching the shit on the screen and studying her. And they're trying to figure out how to get in there. There's an actress that's in there. There's an actress that's in there. The African American girl, Monica Moranbo.
yeah,
You saw her in the show, right? The
yeah. I
girl
saw
that
her, yeah, on the trailer.
yeah. No, you've seen her in the show. In the first, did she come out in the first episode? No, she didn't. She came out in the second episode.
No, second one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll talk about that later. But in
yeah.
the trailer, you've seen her in the trailer. She's obviously working for Sword. She's actually the little girl from Captain Marvel, but she's all grown up because this is in the present day. So she's grown up,
Gotcha.
and she's in there. And I guess when these people, it's kind of like they send in their like, oh shit, what is this bubble? We need to figure out. And so they send people in, and when those people go in
Yeah,
there, they become part of that world. They turn black
yeah.
and
They
white,
get sucked in.
and they forget who they
Yeah,
are because now Wanda's creating their reality. And so now, oh, I'm her neighbor. But that's not really all those people. They're
yeah,
trapped in there, and they're not her neighbors. They're fucking Sword agents that were sent in there. That's what I think. There were Sword agents that were sent in there, and they got stuck in there because she's creating this, and she's making them their
yeah.
neighbors. And that's why she asked them like,
Um,
"Who are you, and what are you doing here?" You know, and they're also confused too. You know, when they're
yeah,
talking, they're also confused about
yeah,
shit too.
yeah. Stuff that, yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally get it. Like I see that more where she's creating this world. Maybe, she's not trying to, and maybe she's mourning, and she went into a, I don't know, like a
I think she's being
deep.
that could be a possibility. She's mourning,
Mhm,
and yeah, and she's doing this because she's mourning with Vision.
yeah,
Um, I think that it could be that it's somebody's manipulating her, and I think it's that Agnes, that
Agnes.
that girl. I think
Could
it's her
be.
because you were talking
Could
about the
be.
witches. You were talking about the witches,
Yeah.
and I think it
Hmm.
all coincides with that. If she's the one
Yeah.
manipulating her to do this,
Yeah.
um,
What was she the one that helped her with her powers in the comic books? Because it sounds like she's an old witch, and if she's an old witch, then maybe she had some sort of interaction with Wanda before all of this happened with Age of Ultron and stuff like that.
so in the comic
Uh,
books, her name is Agatha Harkness.
Agatha. There you go.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
crazy part about it is that her character has always been associated with Mephisto. And if you know anything about Mephisto, Mephisto is the Marvel Universe's version of Satan or the devil. The devil.
Hmm.
Mephisto is the devil. And they said some shit like there's quotes in both episodes, but this first episode there was a quote in there, and they said devil like something about the devil, and then they all laughed,
Yeah.
and I was just like, what? That was fucking out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know if they're gonna bring in Mephisto. There's a lot of people on the internet that are talking about Mephisto's gonna be in this. I think to bring in the devil is gonna be kind of weird.
Well, if Disney calls it Mephisto, then it's not the devil, right? So they're gonna be like, yeah, we can get away with that one.
But he basically is.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know, I know, but
Marvel
like,
doesn't call him the devil; they call him Mephisto.
it's not the same in writing. In writing, is just like, oh, it's Mephisto, you know.
He's got a point.
So that's how you
So
get around with shit like that.
yeah. Moving on, episode 2. And I was
Yeah.
hoping like this is what got to me. Is I was cool with the first episode of Bewitched. They gave us a
Yeah,
whole episode of Bewitched.
pretty
Okay,
much.
that's what they gave us. And then they gave us a second whole episode. Okay,
Yeah.
here's another thing. They were short. They were like 29, 24 minutes. They were short. They were like under 30 minutes. They were short.
Yeah.
Which is probably why they released 2. But they gave us 2 Bewitched episodes, and that bothered me.
But you know what? I wasn't very happy with it either. I the beginning I was like, okay, this is gonna something funny's gonna happen, and it did, but not to the level that I thought it was gonna be expecting. You know,
like I thought they were gonna transition into the next era on the next episode, but that didn't happen until the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So it bothered me that we saw 2 Bewitched episodes, and I was like, I mean, if I wanted to watch Bewitched, I would be watching Bewitched. Yeah. But I'm not.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it didn't feel like you were watching Marvel. Yeah, the characters are there.
The first episode, yes. The first episode, because it was new. It was like, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
But by the second episode, where it was basically the same thing. It was a Bewitched episode. I was just like, no, you're dragging it on too long. It's like one of those jokes that we already laughed about it, and you say it again, and it's like, well, I mean, it's not funny anymore. I already got it out of my system.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell the premise of the season story within the first episode. Some, other, series will do it on the second one, but they don't. I mean, I felt like it was dragging.
It was dragged for 2 episodes. If it was just going to be 1 episode, and that was it, or you would have made the story longer. But you gave us 2 Bewitched episodes. Yeah. You really did, Marvel.
I honestly think that they were trying to make it creepy, but they couldn't get quite there because they were doing all these jokes and whatnot. They could have gotten there, I think, in my opinion, if they did the same intro from the second episode, because it looked a lot more like polished. Like, oh, this looks like a 1950s show now. Like it has the little cartoon at the beginning.
Yeah.
Now.
They could have done that, and they could have done that in the beginning of the first episode.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And it would have, because let's pretend like they all did it in black and white, like cartoon, and then serious stuff comes around, like when they were arguing. That would have made a little bit more of an impact. Like, oh shit, like it's a cartoon, but someone's dying, is choking, and then you can like change that or transition into reality, black and white. And it'll be more creepy, eerie. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, they did drag it a lot. Second episode, they were talking a little bit more. They were explaining a little bit more about the idea of like what's going on, because what was that scene where she saw an airplane outside of the house, right?
The little helicopter.
It was a helicopter, or was it a plane? I'm not sure.
It was a helicopter, and then the beehive guy came out, and she said no, and it rewinded.
Yeah.
And he wasn't there.
Yeah, and it was, by the way, everything's in black and white except for that toy.
And look,
the toy is symbolic.
And did you not see on the toy the sword symbol?
Yeah, I did.
That's the organization.
It was red and yellow.
That's the organization that I'm talking about. And when the beehive guy came out, on the back of his on his back, the sword logo was there.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know if you noticed, but like when they were doing the magic trick and they bring the box, you can clearly see the gemstone on the box for that magic trick, like sparkling out. It's basically the gemstone.
Oh wow!
It's a
box,
gemstone.
It's on the box. I didn't even look at it.
It's on the box.
I didn't even look at it.
Yeah,
wow.
It's basically the gemstone, and it has like stuff coming out.
Yeah.
It was very simple, but it's just you see it. That's it.
Yeah,
like,
it was the.
You can tell like some of the stuff is in the back of the head of Wanda. So like when you have a dream and everything seems to be too like good to be true. You when you wake up, you're like, oh, that's why I dreamed that, because I saw that or whatever. It's in the back of your head, right? So there was other stuff in there too. I don't know if you noticed, but like when you go and see the paper, the newspaper and whatnot, there's stuff on the paper that says, for example, like there was one that said like something lobster, and it was like a takeaway or like a shop or whatever. And then the next scene, she's cooking lobsters, little stuff like that. Then I'm like, oh, maybe they're, like they're trying to insinuate this is all in her head, like she's making all of this up, but at the same time, there's like stuff. Now, set all that aside. Is Vision alive? Did she bring him to life?
Here's the
or
thing.
Is that all in her head?
That's what I'm scared of. I hope they say he at the very end of this, I hope he's back. I hope he's alive.
Yeah.
But I'm scared. I'm scared that it's gonna be just something that she made up, and he's gonna go away. I don't think I don't think he's alive. I want him to, because he's such a cool character.
Yeah, he is. He's a fucking
I loved it. Every time you see him fly and with the cape, it looks fucking so sick, dude. I mean, he looks so awesome. And we didn't get to see enough of him, you know? It was just like...
exactly.
But every time he was on the screen and he was using his powers, it was just like, dude, this guy's like God. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Like...
on Age of Ultron, I thought
we don't need the Avengers. We just need Vision. This guy, I mean, he's pretty much very powerful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we only got to see a little bit. And so I hope that he's back. I really do hope he's back, but I don't know. I feel like Marvel's going to say, no, he's really dead at the end of this. I think that's what they're going to do.
Wanda has the power of actually rebuilding the stone. She does have that power.
Well, something's going to happen. We've seen it in the trailer. The stone's like right in front of her, and she's staring at it like all crazy.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Something's going to happen. Something's going to fucking happen.
An implosion. Like she built it again. Like she made it from scratch. I don't know. So it could be a possibility that she can bring Vision back.
But then they have to build him a body.
That's a good question.
They have to build him a body.
That's a good point.
The body was destroyed.
Because he
has a big hole in his fucking skull, dude. They need to build a new head. At the very least, they need to build a new head.
That is true. That is true. But I doubt like they just left them there in the middle of Wakanda.
No. The Black Panther has him.
They have the body.
They have the body there in Wakanda. You know what? Maybe they already repaired it. They already made. They have the body there.
They have the technology, man.
But they just need the stone. Oh.
They just need the stone. Exactly.
Kevin Feige, make it happen.
Vision
can
I'm
still
pretty
be
sure
alive.
they will. They will. They're gonna bring him back.
Look, dude, I don't think so, because the whole thing about Marvel is like you're transitioning not only through movies and phases, but through actors. You know what I'm saying? They're also they're getting rid of actors and they're getting new ones. Like that's gonna keep happening. We're gonna keep seeing heroes either disappear or just never come out again, or some of them are gonna start dying, dude. We're gonna start seeing that shit. And we've already seen it.
I think the actor who plays Vision, was it the same actor that did the voices from the beginning?
Yes, from the very beginning. He did Jarvis. He did Jarvis from the very fucking beginning. And it's funny because his wife, Jennifer Connelly, after they made Vision and Tony Stark needed a new AI, and he put her in. It was Friday. She did the voice. His wife, Jennifer Connelly, did the voice, and she was the one in. She's the one from Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
That's his wife.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's so cool.
They have kids.
A good factoid there.
Yeah, and she she does the voice for Friday, and we're not gonna hear her anymore because Tony Stark is dead.
Yeah.
Wah.
Hey, if you like shit like this, check out the full podcast on the link to the right, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to stay tuned for our weekly podcast. Peace.